They're not giving you kisses. Friends, I am tired today. I genuinely do not understand why people put their faces inches away from puppies, or any dog for that matter, especially ones that they've just met. Dogs are not humans, they're animals, and a lick is not automatically a kiss. I have 4 adult dogs. Not one of them would put their mouth on my face because they've been taught since they were babies that human faces are off limits. We've never encouraged face licking, mouthing fingers or toes. I don't think that I could get my dogs to lick my face if I tried. All of this for the sake of safe human-dog interactions. What I think people miss is that every interaction you have with a puppy is shaping that dog, whether you mean to or not. I want every person interacting with a puppy to think about it this way. You are adding puzzle pieces. Every interaction contributes to the picture. Eventually, those pieces come together to create the dog that puppy becomes. So when a puppy jumps on you and everyone laughs, that's a piece. When a puppy mouths your hands and nobody redirects it, that's a piece. And when a puppy puts its mouth on your face and everyone calls it kisses, that's also a piece. Sometimes it's harmless. Other times you're actively teaching that dog that putting its mouth on human faces is an acceptable way to interact with people. And I think the problem is that people are focused on enjoying the moment, not thinking about the dog that they're helping to create. Puppies become dogs whether we're intentional about it or not. Every interaction matters, every boundary matters, every behavior we encourage matters. What absolutely blows my mind is that people will meet a puppy for the first time and immediately put their face right in front of it. Why? When puppies play with each other, they bite faces, ears, tails, feet. They will bite whatever they can reach. Maybe a blanket, a shoe, a stick, drywall, if given the opportunity, because they are puppies. They explore the world with their mouths. They're also teething, which means they're actively looking for things to chew, grab, and investigate all day long. And yet people act surprised when one of those things ends up being their face. Puppies are not born understanding that human faces require different rules. They don't just know that your fingers are off limits, and they're not born understanding human boundaries. It's literally our job to teach them those things. And I think that the thing that bothers me the absolute most is how much we humanize dogs. We treat every lick like a kiss. We treat every jump like a hug. Every behavior gets filtered through human emotions instead of looking at what the dog is actually doing. And when you place human social cues on dogs, you're setting them up for failure. The fastest way to misunderstand a dog is to expect them to think like a human. A puppy licking your face isn't automatically affection. It can be excitement, curiosity, exploration, attention-seeking, food-seeking, overstimulation, or simply a puppy interacting with something that's within reach. Sometimes the next thing that happens after a lick is a mouthful of somebody's nose. That is reality if you do not know how to interact with animals. And you know what? There's something that really gets me. It's that the consequences of poor handling don't always show up immediately. Sometimes they show up months or years later. That dog jumps, mouths, ignores boundaries, eventually gets labeled a problem. Dogs often end up paying the price for human inconsistency. There's already enough heartbreak in the dog world without us contributing to it. Dogs blamed for behaviors they were never taught not to do, or for the lack of training sacrificed for human enjoyment, convenience, and entertainment at the expense of the very dogs that we claim to love. When you irresponsibly interact with animals, you contribute to that. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but every single interaction makes a difference. Every behavior we encourage becomes another piece of the dog standing in front of us. And when dogs eventually pay the price for human mistakes, they're the ones who live with those consequences, not us. It costs precisely nothing to respect dogs and other animals enough to stop pretending that they're tiny, furry people. They're dogs. They're puppies. They're learning. And maybe stop putting your face inches away from animals you barely know and acting surprised when they behave, well, like animals, because they're not necessarily giving you kisses. They're doing what puppies have done for thousands of years, exploring the world with their mouths. People have taken that completely normal canine behavior and instead of teaching appropriate boundaries, encourage it because they enjoy it. And then we're shocked when the puppy continues doing the very thing that we've been rewarding. That is not a puppy problem. That's a human problem. And too often, the dog is the one who pays the price for it.